All right, guys, let's get your fabric ready to sew. So if you missed Friday when we pinned, remember, you're pinning your fabric with the wrong side out on both, okay? And we're pinning to the left, which means when you do your tuck, tuck, stuck, so pin goes in and back out, the points go to the left. I like to turn my fabric so that I'm always pinning on the top. Okay, you only need about 2 pins per side. Okay, so once my fabric is done, this means you've sewn your straight lines, you've practiced your corners, your fabric is pinned, and you're ready to go. So where do you line it up? How do you keep a straight line? On your bobbin door, okay, is a number 10 with a line. Okay, that's our 3/8 seam allowance. That is the line that you are using when you sew to keep a straight line. So, when I'm ready to sew, okay, I practiced everything, my machine is threaded, everything's up. Step 3, I place my fabric in under my presser foot. And I'm going to line it up on that number 10 line. I put my fabric right below my needle with the majority to the left, and I lower the presser foot, step 4. Step 5, I lower the needle by turning the hand wheel. Step 6, my pedal's on the floor. 7, I turn my machine on. Okay, now we're ready to go. Back stitching. So, 4 forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready? 4 back. Press the back stitch button. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now my knot is made. My fabric is going to stay together where my knot is. Okay, now we're going to sew down the line. If your fabric has selvage, so any of this white, okay, if you need to trim it so that your fabric, your selvage is no more than that 3/8 of an inch, you can do that. Otherwise, you can adjust that seam to sew along your selvage line and just use the selvage line as a guide, okay? So I'm going to sew down using my number 10 line and the selvage as a guide, okay? If you are feeling confident, and only if you are feeling confident, okay? When you come to a pin, take your foot off, pull the pin out. You cannot sew under or over a pin. If the pin goes under the presser foot, the machine will stop working. So stop and pull the pin out. As you get more comfortable, you might be able to pull them out as you sew. But if you're not comfortable, stop, take the pin out, and keep going. As you gain confidence and you want to slowly increase your speed, that is fine. Honestly, any more than halfway is probably going to freak you out. Don't go more than halfway. Okay? I'm coming up to a pin, so I'm going to pull it out. All right. Now, as I'm coming to the corner, I'm going to need a pivot. Okay? So I'm going to stop. If you need to just do 1 stitch at a time to get to where you want to be, that's fine. I'm ready to turn. Lower the needle. Raise the presser foot. Turn to the left, and now my fabric is right on that number 10 line again. You can look and see there's my stitches. Okay, lower my presser foot, keep my fabric lined up on that number 10. My left hand is staying to the left, my right hand is here so I can use my pins. Okay, and now I'm going to sew down this side. I keep my eyes not on my needle but on that number 10 line. Pull the pins out, keep your fabric on that line. That way you know you're going in a straight line. Okay, nice straight lines and sharp corners. Okay, coming up on another pin, pull it out. Okay, coming up on the corner. Like I said, if you want to do like 1 stitch at a time, so you can get it right where you want it. Lower the needle, raise the presser foot, turn, line it up on that line, lower the presser foot, We're gonna sew the third side. See how fast this goes, guys? I told you. Okay, coming up on my needle or on my pin, pull it out. So I have a pin cushion to my right where I'm putting the pins. You might want to have your little piece of felt out while you're sewing so that you can just stick your pins into that piece of felt, even if you do it voodoo style for the time being, so that you're not just setting them on your desk. Coming up on another pin, pull it out. Coming all the way down here to the edge. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm on my fourth side. If I were to sew my pillow all the way shut, it wouldn't be a pillow. So it is really, really important, just like with your animal or your monster that you sewed, that you leave a gap. Okay? And I like to say about 4 inches. So if that means you want to take a pin and put it in there so you know where to stop and put it in sideways, that's fine. So I'm going to sew down to my gap. Alright, so I'm coming up on my pin. I don't want to sew over it, so I can pull it out. Notice I stopped my machine because my hand was close to the needle. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my fabric out of the machine, so I can't just stop here. I need to backstitch. So I press the reverse button, all right? And I'm going to go backwards now for 4. Okay, now I can pull my fabric out. Okay, make sure you leave a nice long tail. I'm going to trim the threads. I'm going to trim the threads everywhere now because they're all going to be inside the pillow and I don't want it to be bulky. So my threads are trimmed. I can take out my last pin and you're going to turn your pillow right side out. Okay, just like if you take your sock off at the end of the day and it gets wrong side out, you're going to turn it right side out like you would a sock. Okay, I can stick my hand in there where my corners are because they're nice and sharp. I can stick my finger in the corner and poke the corner out. Okay, get that corner poked out nice and sharp. Okay, nice sharp corners. Okay, and now I have a pillowcase. Okay, we're going to stop here. I don't want you to get to the closure before I get back. So if you get to this point on Tuesday, please just stop, turn your machine off, unthread it, close it up, help your classmates, okay? But don't go any further than this on Tuesday, okay? I want to be here when you guys close up. All right? Thank you.